What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Right.
Everyone knows, of course, I'm Fran Savage, Savage Ladies in Metal. With me, we have Crystal Cano from Texas Metal Militia and the lovely Chrissy Williams from Bulldog Management and Entertainment. And we have a special guest today. We got Danny D. Reckoning from, of course, Dead Reckoning. He is a nationwide touring manager, and he's been around a minute. He's been around.
Don't get my age
Which is
away.
the
Come
best
on
term
now.
to use for this show. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I am good.
Good.
Thank you for taking the time out to join us, Danny. It's very
Absolutely.
rare that we just bring in a random guest, and we're going a different direction. I'm going to cut some of
Ain't
this
get
out.
any more than me, so.
This is very true. Very
Perfect.
true.
Yeah.
Ladies, how you doing?
Doing good,
Good.
Fran?
Good. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. This is an age-old argument against many, many relationships. Swingers, are they cheaters, or is it part of the entertainment industry's lifestyle? I'll go first, and I'll just jump right into it. It's the lifestyle. Now, just to put this out there, everyone, this is all a matter of everyone's own personal opinions. We are not here to sway anyone to think differently. We are going to give you our personal opinion on this very, very touchy topic. And in this, being in the music industry, you see a lot. I was a bartender long before the music industry. Still same industry, just different. Just different. But it is. It's the entertainment lifestyle. It's the old school term. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll is not underestimated in any way, shape, or form. And from what things I have personally seen or been through, it is the lifestyle, and I'll get into that into my own explanation why in a little bit. But part of the reason is it always has been. This is not something that's been new, and I think that a lot of people, men and women, just don't want to admit to it and want to believe that they have that one of those very rare individuals who are faithful. And unfortunately, many are not. But is it unfortunate, or are they swingers? There's a lot of couples who are swingers where the significant other does indeed understand who they're married to or dating. And when, musicians go on tour, especially for long months at a time,
Yeah.
do you really think they're doing anything innocent? No. Okay. More than likely, it's going to happen. More than likely, not guaranteed. That's my personal opinion from what I've seen and heard. Who would like to go first?
You have when you're on the road, this is the thing, when you're on the road, you have those band-aids that are there. And they're ready, willing, and able.
I'm going to cut her off. She has a term for groupies that has just happened. It's a groupie term, and it's called band aids. That's like an oxymoron, but it's beautiful. It's great. It's not beautiful. No offense, but maybe a little. Go ahead, Chrissy.
It's there. It don't even have to be music industry. It's in life. Social media has opened things up for the cheating and the swinging lifestyle. And if you're involved in the music industry, you know that it's a daily thing. You just look the other way and keep going. So, I have plenty of friends who are swingers, and it works for them.
Yeah.
But that's also why I will never date. I have a real hard time dating a musician anymore.
I feel that.
You're froze, Fran. You're like the only one froze.
I froze?
Yeah.
You're moving on my end.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah, everybody else is moving but you. It looks kind of
I can see you moving just fine, man.
Did you see that? I was just I love you. Okay. So you can obviously see me now.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
What do you think, sweetheart? Do you think that is it cheating to be a swinger, or
Look,
Is it part of the lifestyle?
okay, look. I mean, if couples, if they have that talk about, hey, I'm a swinger, and they have an agreement to it, then yes. But if their partner doesn't know about it, then that's considered cheating. You have to be upfront about a lot of things when you're in a relationship, and you just can't be hiding your true fantasies, emotion, love, or what the fuck you want. um I also think in the industry, it's a choice. Okay, I know there's a lot of temptation out there. I know that um it, to me, consists of insecurities and lack of communication with your partner. And I just think that when you have a person, or you're going out with a person that's well known in the industry, whether it be acting, musician, it can be a lot for a person that's like the normie, right? um, but also, like I said, it's the lack of communication which you want in that relationship, right? So, I mean, that is my way of thinking about the whole situation with cheating.
But
Okay.
what happens if, okay, we all know it's standard pretty much in any music, acting, any of that. You know it is. Why would you willingly go into a relationship with the person you know is going to be like, is in that industry and those issues? So you're setting yourself up to begin with.
But if you're
Well,
upfront, I mean, like, if you're upfront to that person, the one that you're dating or you're going to date, um, then that's where you talk about being honest in what you like and what your kinks and fetishes are, right?
Right.
So I it's that, but
But what if you're not expecting? You guys are, oh, I'm loyal or loyal, but it's still in the industry and it's still going to happen. It could still happen. 90% chance it's going to happen. Why would you willingly go into a relationship knowing any of that? Why not go
I,
date someone
it,
out of the
I think a
industry?
lot of people are
it's a
very delusional
I
and
think
are
it's a
hoping for the
chance.
best and think that they got that, that rainbow. No, I'm not talking gay rainbow. I'm talking, they have that beautiful fantasy where I'm dating a rock star and he's going to be honest to come home to me and I'm gorgeous. I got a knockout body. That doesn't mean shit.
Nope.
It don't mean shit. And I think that anyone who fully walks in thinking it's not going to be even a questionable issue is delusional. Delusional. It's the lifestyle. It is. Doesn't make it okay, but it doesn't make it wrong either. Just because it's not your lifestyle doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
it is a lifestyle to a certain point, but
Right. Well, I mean, if
from
you're
a,
out,
from a,
being,
from
yeah,
experience, there are those who have very successful relationships where it's not even in question.
Yeah.
I know individuals that have a fantastic dream scenario home life and they go out on the road. They're out there for business. It's not like it was back in the late 80s, early 90s. It's not Motley Crue days anymore out
Right.
on the road. There are more bands than not that go out on the road, and it's all business. It's a
no,
daily routine. It's load in, sound check, play show, load out, ride to hotel, check into hotel, watch a little TV, sleep, repeat 7 days a week. And
they're lucky if
but
they shower and
back
beat their own meat.
right, but back to what Christian was saying as far as, and Crystal as well, with the knowledge, that is a very big key to it. Because what happens is, and this ties in with you too, Fran, with the delusional, what happens is it's not discussed until after the fact that a relationship is entered into, and they're all, in a lot of cases, that's how the woman met the guy anyway.
Right.
And you get out on the road, and then all of a sudden, it's the unfaithfulness is coming in the eyes of whoever may be deeming it unfaithful. When in reality, if it would have been discussed to start with, there would be no unfaithfulness to it because it would have been crystal clear that this was the way the life rolls for that particular individual when out on the road. Right. So there's a lot of finger pointing that is pointed at the musician, at the person working in the industry from the person that's not working in the industry. And those fingers are pointed very unfairly at that person, because what in essence it's trying to do, and I see it all the time, is, for example, the woman is dating a musician. They're in a serious committed relationship. Musician goes on the road. Musician gets accused, even if musician is not doing anything, to the point that it makes the musician say, well, hell, if I'm going to have to put up with this shit, I might as well go ahead and be a full-fledged part of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine how much the musicians actually, or anybody in entertainment, doesn't have to be just be musicians, it could be movie stars, it's the same industry, more or less, just not music. And, I can imagine what those phone calls must be like, and how often you get them. But it does, in my opinion, again, this is everyone's own personal opinion, but also a lot of it's facts from what you see, the realistic, what really is happening. Like Danny said, it does matter that, a lot of times they're go, 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 go. They barely have time to even take a shit, let alone, take care of business,
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. I mean, that's definitely true. I'm not a musician, but I as a booking agent, and with, friends all in the industry, you hear that all the time. It's like they don't have, as soon as they get off the stage, get off stage, they're loading up that van and they're getting ready to go to the next spot, and I get that. But when they get to that next spot, you don't think that there's more that there's a chance it's going to be female there for somebody? Not, maybe several for the whole band. You never know. But it's, now, Crystal, like you said, in my opinion, if it's discussed in the beginning, absolutely. You have honesty, you have communication. It's just like any other relationship. That is valuable, and that is definitely needed, especially in a lifestyle in the entertainment industry. But to sit there and think, oh, my husband would never do that. Guess I have seen so many marriages and relationships, and being a booking agent, I'm going to call myself out to a lot of my female friends right now. 99% of your men are cheating. Who's that lucky 1%? I'm not telling. It's or have cheated, at least from what I've seen. I'm not around everyone every day, and I don't doubt it, but I'm okay. Maybe 99%. I'd say about 90% have and are, and realistically, and they got a great wife at home. They got kids. They have a great life, and some of them aren't even on the road for a year. They're only gone for a weekend, and they can't keep their dick in their pants.
Well, it's not just musicians in the music industry either.
That's right. Well, I said also, well, it's anybody in the industry. That's why I said also, actors and stuff like that too.
No, I'm talking like promoter. You got your promoters, your booking agents, your.
It can be anybody in the industry, man. Mm-hmm.
But what if they say that about us? I mean,
I'm sure they
need to start doing a podcast so we find out.
What would they say about us? Because we're like, I'm always talking to musicians. I'm always talking.
Oh, are you kidding me? Musicians will always talk shit about promoters.
But it's ultimately my choice if I do. Or if
okay, Crystal, let me ask you that. Let's say you're dating a guy 5 years who's in a band. It's always just a local band. You already give eyeballs to certain girls. If you see your man walk up to a female and he doesn't introduce you to her, and he walks away, gives her a hug, and says hello for a minute, you gonna get pissed?
Yes.
Why?
Because why isn't he not introducing me first?
It might not be somebody
let me take that one for a second. Because here's why. When working in the music industry, part of the job is the girls are there because they want to live and know what it feels like to be with one of those musicians. part of the musician's job, tour manager, anybody that is encountering these females in the industry, part of that job description is you want to make them think that they can have you, even though they might not be able to.
It's a tease.
What is
It's a
one
tease.
thing that is going to be what is one thing that's going to be detrimental to your job description is introducing the wife or the girlfriend to a fan who's got the hots for you that's standing there buying merchandise. And the first thing you're going to do is introduce them to the wife or girlfriend. No, you're going to thank them. You're going to hug them. They're going to go about their way. You're going to go about your way. It's part of the job. It is part of the job. It's just like going into a fast food restaurant and smiling at some asshole customer who has just pissed you off in the worst way, but you can't say anything to them because it's part of your job. It's customer service. And a lot of, and I'm not trying to pick on women here, but a lot of women just do not get that. They immediately see their man who is working in the industry talking with another attractive female. It's immediately their mind goes to, oh, he's cheating, he wants her, blah 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 blah. It's all a bunch of It's a bunch of bullshit.
I am going to agree with Danny.
Danny,
I agree with you, honestly. And what it comes down to is if that female, whether you're married or not, that ring doesn't matter. Literally, it really doesn't. As the significant other, you want to support your man, yes, but he is, like Danny said, he still has a job to do. And part of that job is making those fans still want them. And if they got to be like, hold on, let me introduce you to my wife because she's jealous. The wife, I'm sorry, but I'm going to call this out. The wife and the significant other is now the problem.
Yep.
It is not the one who can't keep it, because he's keeping his dick in his pants. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. He's talking to the fans, like Danny said. He's supposed to interact. He's supposed to smile. He's supposed to give hugs. He's, and
you're supposed
gonna happen.
To flirt.
And sometimes it will be with several women who are scantily dressed, who are absolutely gorgeous. And he's supposed to sit there and say, hold on, my wife needs to meet you. No, absolutely not. The wife or husband, because sometimes it's the other way around too, it doesn't work both ways, needs to step back and know to stay in their lane. You have to stay in your lane. There is a time and a place where it makes sense. And if you feel that you need to come up, you are becoming part of the problem. They have a job to do still. And it's more than just hitting it. Their job it does not stop just because they're not on stage performing. As long as they are on location and in the public eye, it's that's how they meet people. And sometimes friends, great friends that they can meet across the nation. It's not just women, it could be legit friends. And some of those friends are women.
And there are exceptions to that rule because I know multiple wives, significant others, girlfriends of guys, and they go to the shows. Everybody knows that they're with so and so, but they don't make it an issue. If everybody, they're standing front row, they know, everybody knows who they are, but when it comes time for business and to do the show, they don't necessarily have to move back into the shadows. They just know that is part of it. And they sit there, and that is what is being a supportive, significant other, wife, whatever you want to call it, of a musician. That is how you're supported, because if you're insecure in a relationship, of course, you're going to assume things. But if you have relationship security, then you have nothing to worry about to start with. So why make it a point to make your presence known?
Exactly.
Well, see, when I was with my ex, he was in a band. He got when he come off stage, he got whatever his fans got him and everything else. I didn't get in the way. I told him, I always laughed at him. I was like, yeah, here's your 15 minutes of fame. Go enjoy it. Yeah, but are those women going to try? Oh, well, yeah. Or even men. They're going to try. Mm-hmm. You can't get upset, though, because you willingly walked into this relationship knowing what was there. Mm-hmm. And then him coming, in my case, when he was coming off stage, he would get hit on nonstop. I thought it was funny. Some of the times I would set it up and have him really go after him. You can be secure or you're not. And if you're going to get pissed off that you're not getting introduced, you're in the wrong relationship because you at that point do not matter. I hate to say that because it's like being a bartender.
And one of the
What
one
the
of the
hell was
worst.
that?
What? Oh, it was me setting a bottle down.
No, somebody screamed.
Oh, nobody here.
But it's like just like being a bartender. You have to make them think that they stand a chance,
No,
and that's going to make you money. That's going to make
flirting
you.
is part of the game.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And you know what's bad is that some people don't really know what flirting is. There's times where people are literally just talking to someone like this, and the significant other, oh, why were you talking to her? Why are you standing so close? Why were you all getting all smiling? Stop. You are acting like a fucking child. I'm going to call that out. That like, okay, now I'm also going to say we keep referring to women being a significant other because 90 over like a majority of the entertainment industry is more men. Or more men.
Mhm.
I'm not saying in male dominated shit. Unfortunately, that's life. But and legitimately, it's usually the women. Now there are female entertainers, whether music and actors, they still go through it too. But it's typically, there's a lot more men involved with the music shit. It's like Chrissy said, you need to have a basic trust, whether you are told shit in the beginning or not. Because you know what? If you were told that stuff in the beginning, are you gonna get into the relationship? Or are you gonna start being like, oh well, I'm gonna start questioning everything he fucking does? Now you become the problem.
And
He was honest, and now you want to shadow him, and you want to stand over him. Nobody should ever have to start a relationship.
And on the flip side of that, there are many that will, even when it's explained to them, they'll agree to everything and be 100% on board with it. But in the back of their mind, they're like, "Nah, I can change this." That's when it really starts causing a problem. Is when you're with someone, you know who they are, what they're about, and then all of a sudden you start trying to change it. That creates even larger problems.
Yeah.
You can't change anyone. If they're like that, they're like that. Once a cheater, always a cheater. That's it.
But
I don't agree with that statement either. But
okay, so let me ask you guys this: what about this scenario? The famous person, whatever they do, music, movies, whatever, famous person, is it really lying or not? They you know how some people like to sugarcoat shit and beat around the bush and not flat out say the truth, but they're basically leaving that door open, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, but sometimes has some, I might be in a, they'll put it on, they'll blame it on the rest of the people that they're with, the band or friends, whatever. Oh well, I just, I'm not gonna be the only one that says no, I'm not gonna go to the strip club. Are you, if he, says, oh, things are, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Does it become this is where it becomes iffy. The significant other, their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, at home, is going to believe what they're told. But I want to know why women or men really think that in the industry, I mean, it is possible to find people who are true. We do exist.
yeah.
But we are who are the ones that aren't going to do it? The ones who stay the fuck out my phone. It's the ones that you notice aren't sleeping around with anyone and just do their job. Those are the ones that you that I've noticed. Personal opinion that I've noticed. People who are not the type to be with multiple people, are not the type to get a boyfriend after I cannot tell you how many women, and I'm calling this one out, women who have an immediate boyfriend within a month or two after having a 10-year marriage. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, I'm calling this out. It's the women who do this. The men, they just look at it as another piece of ass, the way they should at that point. But the women, oh, I found a great guy. Da, da, da. No, you found a guy who's going to put up with the bullshit that you lied to your husband about that ended your relationship to begin with. Good job.
And
I'm calling that out. Okay.
And on the side of the secretism and everything, I'll give a good example. I'm a single man. I'm not in a relationship, but previous relationships that I've had, I'll use an example. I have a female friend that works in the industry. We're friends. I had not seen this female friend in over a year, and I happened to be in this female friend's hometown, so I let them know I was in that town. Turned out I didn't know it because never hung out with her in her hometown, just at shows when we were both doing business. She was only a 15-minute drive from the hotel. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, this is just a friend of mine. She comes over. We hung out for 30, 45 minutes in the hotel lobby, just chilling, catching up on things. Nothing more, nothing less. This friend had to go home. But if I had a significant other and had to go home and tell that, I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit's gonna hit the fan, because there's gonna be a couple of keywords in there that any woman that you're in a relationship is gonna go nuts. Female friend, out of town, 4 a.m. hotel.
Yep.
Just those
I mean,
four
logically,
simple
all of
terms,
us would think that.
and
Logically, all of us would think
even
that.
though it was innocent,
It was,
sitting in a public hotel lobby shooting the shit for 30 or 45
I
minutes.
can validate
Guarantee
that
you
same
that's going to
scenario
get
story.
twisted, or that's going to get twisted around,
Oh, yeah.
and my ass would be in a sling and have done nothing wrong.
Yeah. And I understand, Danny. I completely agree. Now, that's a very simple, especially if the female looks a certain way. And it's funny because it's nobody. Everyone wants to say everyone's beautiful inside and out, blah blah blah, until you're in the industry, and you find out your significant other. Oh, I trust him. Okay, then why is it when you're there, he can't even be comfortable and act himself and do what he's supposed to do as an entertainer, which includes talk to people and know if you're not there, stay there. Don't ever just walk up to your. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Me personally, I don't think it's right that any significant other should just walk up to their whoever they're dating and married, just because they're talking to a group of good-looking men or good-looking women, like, "Hi, I'm here."
Oh no.
If they're not introducing you, to me, this is what I think. Okay, if they're not going to introduce you right away because they're insignificant to them. That's what it comes down to. To me, I think it's them being insignificant. And everyone has insecurities. You mentioned that earlier, Crystal. Everyone has insecurities. In the entertainment industry, your insecurities you need to figure out how to get that shit in check. You need to, because if you don't, you're going to be more of a problem than the person itself, because that person with the insecurities is now causing the problems in the relationship. Because even if they tell you the truth, are you just going to be, and you agree, like, oh, okay, I understand if maybe you get drunk, once in a while, just don't bring nothing home and don't have any fucking love child. Well, let's talk about that one. Who do we know that is recently now just going through something like that?
Dave.
Yes. Dave from Foo Fighters, right?
Okay, and I got a question. Why is it any of our business?
Right. In this industry, okay, realistically, it's always going to be a thought. You always want to know the person you're with is honest, So if you are told in the beginning, like I have a lot of friends that are swingers in relationships, and some of them are open relationships, which you might as well be technically.
Right.
All right. They work out just fine. All right. But you do take the chance that you might catch something, or mama might get pregnant. It's always a chance. It's always a risk. Yep. You accept those in the beginning. Now, I haven't seen anybody destroyed after she got pregnant or he got someone else pregnant, but it does make shit worse. There has been a lot of times where a lot of guys, if they're not in the entertainment industry, they want to be able to be swingers. So when they go out with their boys, that they can do whatever the fuck they want, and they don't care if their woman does, but then they get pissed off because the women, this is where guys will say, women can get laid easier than we can. Yes, we can. Remember that. I'm going to call it out. Yes, we can. Remember that. Don't push our buttons too much, But unfortunately, sex is used as revenge, and nobody, it might be great for the night, but it's still ignorant.
And it's not just
it's part of the industry. If somebody walks into this industry and starts dating somebody and thinking, I'm going to be the one person he's not, that isn't going to be cheated on, you are delusional. You need to understand, and that's what it comes down to. You don't, accepting a red flag.
When it's not just musicians in this industry. and it goes down to manager to promoter.
Well, it's all of
to
us. Yeah,
booking
it's everyone.
agent.
It could be anyone.
Everybody, these musicians are, they're getting the bad, the name, but it's everybody.
It is. It could be your touring manager. Just saying. But I'm not pointing fingers. But no, she's right. It could be all of us, because we're involved too. The booking agent. That's female booking agent that's not a musician. There's not many of us around. There's not.
No.
A lot of the women are musicians. But guess what? We got to disappear with those 20 band members, 30 band members that we got booked for the night. Do you really think we plan on letting them line up and say, okay, drop your pants? No, we're bitching at all of them to be on time. This needs to get done. That needs to get done, and I don't want to see, as a booking agent, me personally, okay, she was there. There she goes. If I see fans in the back room before a show, I'm throwing their asses out. We got shit to do. Then no one's hit the stage yet. Get the fuck out.
But the whole thing is like, okay, Danny, he's a tour manager. So am I. Okay. He's got, most bands are men.
Yeah.
And I get accused that, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. No. When I'm out on the road, their business, that is it. But I get accused of it just because I'm female.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just out there just so you can fuck them all. No, I could do that at home.
Yeah.
I don't need to go out and spend money.
Yeah.
But they're, how do I?
Do you guys, I'm going to go random. Do you guys think it's okay to go through your spouse's phone whenever you feel like it?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, that in my personal opinion, that's invading my space.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna if I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm not gonna do it to them. I don't want it done to me. That's an invasion of your personal space.
Yeah.
And if you're a person that has
respect.
If you're a person that feels you have to do that, then why the fuck are you in a relationship with that person that you're going through their phone to start with? It goes back to the whole thing of trust. And
but
trust
it's funny you said that.
That's different levels.
That's what I heard earlier.
And she's exploding.
There goes 20. So no, Danny, I agree. But that sneeze just fucked me all up. I forgot where I was gonna go with that. Let me get that 20 back.
I don't feel comfortable even the thought of somebody going through my phone, because I have my business in there.
Right.
But I also have my friend's business.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody's right to touch anything of mine.
Exactly. And all that is it people, whether it be male or female, that are that insecure to have to do that, then there's an issue underlying somewhere. I'll use myself as a good example with someone that's sitting here with us right now. Fran and I have known each other for several years now.
Yeah.
We met doing business together when I was a tour manager for another band. That's how we met. We met through a show. And when we met, I was in a committed relationship, and I was very faithful on and off the road with that individual. Mm-hmm. And as Fran and I would conduct more business together and do other shows and stuff, speaking from personal experience, it was a problem because Fran was a female promoter. I was handling business, but it was a problem, especially when the next tour would come up and they would see locations near Fran's hometown.
My name right away, Chicago.
That I was going to be going there just because we were having regular conversations about the conversations pertain to business. Yes, there's going to be commonplace pleasantries, and we developed a friendship over that. Yeah. But with that particular individual, speaking from experience, absolutely nothing going on. I was faithful to him, but it was an issue, and I was questioned more than one time of why I was having, not because of any other reason. Had Fran been a male, it would have never been an issue, but it was because she was a female and I was doing business and having multiple conversations and text with a female.
Right.
Mhm.
And then people get yelled at. And here's another thing: is sometimes the best time to get a hold of me is at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Me too.
And I've
Danny
told
knows
people,
that.
I told them, I'm like,
That's the
I'm a
same.
bartender. I worked in customer service overnight. I worked in gas stations in the past, bartending. I don't get home till 3, 4 in the morning.
And
So if I'm at work from 5 p.m. till 4 in the morning, guess what? Best time to get a hold of me is at 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm going to answer that phone call. Whether my significant,
yourself, friend, Chrissy, and myself have all had multiple business dealings together just in the last 12 to 18 months alone.
Yeah.
And 98% of those conversations have been between midnight and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That's when we work.
Last year, I spent almost the entire year on the road as a TM. What's the best time to get home? You try to call me before the show ends. I'm not answering my phone. So you have to talk during the night. So there again, those conversations when I would come home, like last year, I wasn't home very much. When I would come home, I'm still on that time schedule. The people that I've been talking to still are contacting me during that time. So if I'm in a relationship and I'm at home, and one of the two of y'all would hit me up, ears standing around, peeping around the corner listening. I'll be like, what the fuck are you listening to?
But
I'm not sitting here having fucking phone sex beating my dick. I'm talking about fucking trying to get another $1,000 out of this chick for the band.
Yeah.
Well, see, and it's not just this. It's we work with venues. We work with other booking companies. We work with other people in another country.
Yeah.
So
the other side of the world
dealings,
too. The other side of the world too. I talk to bands from Europe all the time. They're 6, 7 hours ahead of us,
Right. So we do work at night. That's what we do.
Mm.
And that's the best time to get a hold of your bands. It's the best time to get a hold of your managers. Because they're there and either they just had a show or they're, like Danny said, they are on that time schedule.
Would it be different if your significant other is in the same industry? Would she understand?
Be different as how? What do you mean?
As in, like, okay, I'm a promoter and the guy I'm dating, he's a musician. Would it be different though? Would they understand? Or
they would understand it better.
I think it should be more of an understanding because you see it more. But what it comes down to is the person. Because there's still too many people that don't, even if they work in the industry, they're still going to be the one raising their eyebrow. Why didn't you introduce me to that person? Yeah. Why didn't you introduce me to that person? You don't need to meet everybody. It don't matter who it is, even if it's a guy. If if you were standing right there and somebody comes up to you, guess what? Your significant other is probably going to introduce you.
Okay. Really, what I'm dealing with right now is I talked to Fran about this the other day. I canceled a date with a guy because we hadn't even made it to the first date yet. And I'm straight up honest with him. Yes, I manage my ex-boyfriend's band.
Wait, what'd you say? You said straightforward. I'm hearing shit. I heard strap on with him, and I was like, ooh.
I canceled our date. I canceled our date because he tried to get and tell me that you can't manage, if you're going to be with me, you can't manage your ex-boyfriend's band. Well, yeah, I can. For one, it's my business, not yours. Two, we haven't even made it to our first date. Okay, but I've talked to other musicians or people in the industry, and they get it. They get that, hey, yeah, we're still friends. Yeah, I manage his band, but they also get that we're not doing anything. They realize it's a business. People outside the music industry really don't grasp that as easy. Because it is, looking in, you're managing your ex-boyfriend's band and you're on the road with them. Oh, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. No, I broke up with him for a reason. But but somebody within the music industry does grasp that, hey, it's just business.
Yeah.
Well, I just walked up on the tail end of that, but I did hear one thing that Chrissy just said regarding like managing a boyfriend or a girlfriend's band or something of that nature. That's why and a lot of people may call me chauvinistic for this, but I'm a firm believer in wives, girlfriends, whatever you want to call them, husbands, boyfriends, whatever. If you're out on the road and you're a musician, they have no business out on the road with you. If you're going to miss them when you're on tour, put their ass on a fucking plane, fly them in for a big show when you have a day off or some free time the day before, the day after. Spend 48 hours with them in Vegas while you're playing at the Hard Rock. Put their ass back on the plane and send them back home. Because bringing them out
I
on the
think that's
road,
realistic.
bringing them out
Yeah.
on. I'm not saying don't have them out there or anything at any point in time, but I've had friends in the past who were musicians, and they would, in order to try to keep peace at home, they would bring the wife or girlfriend, and this is back in the 90s. You know, they bring the wife or girlfriend out on the road. Oh yeah, that shit lasts about a week. And then it was a tour manager or a tour manager or a management company or somebody of that nature making that decision for them and putting them on the plane. And 9 out of 10 times, by the time we got off tour, somebody had divorce papers waiting on them. It's just not a good mix.
Yeah.
Well,
And I don't even know what you were talking about, but just Chrissy's
no, what we
statement,
were
I was like,
talking
I'm going to
about-
throw that in there.
I had a guy who we hadn't even made it to my first date yet with him. But I'm very upfront about, yes, I do manage my ex-boyfriend's band. That's all I do. You know, it is what it is. Oh, well, you can't do that if we're going to be together. Well, no, you don't have that right to say it, for one.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
But what I was saying was somebody within the music industry, though, they grasp that a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
That it is business. And they think it's a big party on the road. God, it is not.
No, it's more
There
stressful.
is no, it's
And the thing, and you hit the nail on the head but it takes time, experience to gain the knowledge to realize that that's what it is.
right.
And like at this point in my life, like I say, I'm single, have no intention of being in a relationship. Closest thing I would ever have to a relationship is I would go as far as committing myself to say, hey, you know, we enjoy each other's company. When I'm in town, let's hang out. I'll see you the next time through, and leave it at that. And that might be someone that I would have the in-depth conversations with, share feelings with, share emotions with, and things of that nature. But
Where the fuck did that just come from?
that
I
line.
don't know. Did you see it too?
He
Yeah.
went like this, and it
I
popped
didn't touch a damn thing.
You
This is
got a
awesome. Sorry,
floating
Danny.
thumbs
Something
up
trippy just
sign on
happened. Go ahead.
you.
See,
You know,
fucking the eye and the eyeball fucking on the internet, man. They're watching even when we're recording. The fuckers are like, we agree with him. Oops. We didn't mean to do that.
Wait, friend, you asked me a question earlier. If I were to get upset if they don't introduce me, well, I was thinking about if I was doing the event and my significant other's in the band, and he goes and he hugs all these people, women that I don't know, and then he doesn't say, "Hey, she's the one that did the event." That would piss me off.
Yeah, but that goes back to the
That's
business
business.
aspect.
Yeah,
not the
but
personal.
that would
something
piss me
regarding
off,
business.
as in like, hey, Crystal, she did all this. Say,
Yeah, but you can't make that comparison because that
might not even be part of the conversation.
you're
Nobody's
wanting acknowledgement for the business aspect of what you put together.
yeah,
not
I know
the
it's a
personal
business
aspect
thing,
of.
but I know it's a business thing, but still, I mean,
A lot
You
of
gotta
the fans are not going to even ask who did this. A lot of them don't
No.
give a shit. A lot of them don't give a fuck. They just want to
But
talk to the
you-
person on stage.
We
And
just want to know
just like that.
who'd handed us the check at the end of the night.
yeah.
The way, and and I've explained it, and everybody thinks it's really funny the way I explain things. We don't matter. We're in the background. But I will tell you, to the bands, we're the pimp. We're the one paying them at the end of the night. That's how it works out. But the fans, you can't get upset because they don't
not the
introduce
fans,
you.
not
No,
the
I'm
fans,
saying
other people.
it don't
that-
matter. You can't be upset over it.
It could be more than the fans. The people that you booked, you might be, like let's say if I brought Dead Reckoning to the stage again, Danny, I'm going to use you as a guinea pig on this scenario. All right, being the guy you are, that's not a bad thing. I'm just being an asshole. No, but like if I brought Dead Reckoning back to to Chicago again, which they do come back at least once a year anyway, whether it's me or someone else, bring them to stage. Going to have 4 or 5 other bands with them more than likely. All right. me being a female and I'm single, that becomes more of an issue. Now I don't know why everyone feels that if somebody's single, it's the worst part of it, because there's a lot of people who aren't single who will still cheat. So, I mean, honestly, that's why I said this ring doesn't mean shit. That's why marriage is a joke in my eyes. But Christy will be back momentarily. If everyone sees that me and Danny are talking more than anything, it's more than likely because obviously me and him are friends. But that doesn't mean that he's the threat. Guess what? I have 30 other guys there. I can pick any one of them if I want. And I could take any of the fans if I really wanted to. Not to be an asshole. But I'm just saying, but our job is the last thing anybody who's doing a show or movie, whatever the case is going to think about is my fiance is here, my girlfriend's here. Oh, hold on. She's got to meet every single person I'm talking to, or no. That's when the significant other needs to know their role and stay in their lane. If he's or she, and somebody comes up to you guys, then there's an introduction. That makes sense.
Okay, yes.
For the other person, though, to think that, well, why didn't you introduce me? Well, she seemed like she was a little close to you. Have you just met her? Stop.
No,
you become part of the problem. Let it be.
You're right on that. That's what I was trying to say. Is that it's I'm not talking about only women. It's also men. Like, say, hey, introduce. That's it. But not an introduction of this is my girlfriend. This is my wife. Not like that.
Even as a business.
Introduction only if the person is there. I think it makes sense. If they're not standing there and they're 20 feet away,
no,
don't walk up. Do not walk up to me and put your arm around me to show. Oh, this is hi. And guys will do that shit to the women. They'll come up behind the woman and put their arm. It's like, dude, don't put your arm around me. Don't start kissing on me. I'm working right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. Business wise, I'm not talking about introducing me as your wife or girlfriend, whatever the fuck. I'm talking about as the event, as in business. Yes, but not because I want him to say, "Oh yeah, this is my girlfriend," and meet her and then blah blah blah. No,
honestly, I don't think it's a big deal if you're the one that booked the event or through the event or you're going to be introduced to somebody who did. I don't think it's a big deal. I think honestly, it's like, okay, the event's here. I could care less who the fuck knows I threw it or not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want to make sure the shit runs smooth. I don't give two shits about your significant other watching me.
Hey, well, we work hard to fucking do events.
You do, but we don't get credit. I don't want credit for it. I want the bands to have the credit. I'm giving them that spot for them because I want to advance them, which in return does make me look good. But it makes me look good to the right people. I don't want to look good to a bunch of fans.
Oh, no.
All that on the show. I see where you're coming from to a certain extent, Crystal, but on those shows, let me ask you this. Is your name or promotion logo on that flyer?
Yes.
Okay, then there's your acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
You as a person, you're attached to that brand that's on there, correct? Just like Chrissy's brand is attached to her. Yeah. Fran's brand is attached to her. So there's your acknowledgement. If they know everybody that's there that saw that, and especially when it comes to the bands and things like that, they know who put on the show. They may not come up and thank you. They may not introduce you to everybody in their camp. So what? In the end, it's still very obvious who put it on and who brought the show to town.
No, I think I know where this could go also, because it just clicked in my head. Danny's 100% right. Your acknowledgement is the fact that your name's on that flyer. You're the first one to drop that announcement. You're promoting the fuck out of it for a couple months. Your name is out there, but your face isn't on that logo. Is that the issue then? Because now there's people who don't know what face goes with that logo. So now you feel if you're in the business aspect, does it really matter that somebody didn't say, hey, this is the person and introduce you as that person? I mean, to each person is different. For me, I don't run up to people and say, hey, this is my shit. I put this together. I don't expect people to introduce me. If you're going to introduce me to someone and you say, hey, this is Fran. Hey, what's up? I honestly could give two shits about the details. If somebody asks me, oh, were you the one who put this together? Then I'll answer. But I'm not going to put my face out there. Oh, no. yes, this is my event. Yeah, I'm the one who did it. I can give two shits if people know the face behind there. But they don't mind because I'm fucking all over the place with everything with promotion. So one way or another, my face is out there. But
I like when they figure out that I'm Bulldog.
I don't think my face, people knowing who I am to match my face to the logo is going to be a big deal and should have anything to do with an interference of relationships. But this factor of swingers, usually now there's kind of an oxymoron. I'm surprised nobody brought this up, and I'm going to do it. In the title, it says swingers. If you're in a relationship and you're a swinger, to call yourself a swinger, that means both parties agree to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
There's and some will have stipulations. Each their own. Everyone's got their own
There's
stipulations.
rules behind it.
But then it's okay. Now, if you're a couple, whether you're in the industry or not, this is for anyone. There's swingers outside the industry too. If you're in a relationship and you say, okay, we're going to be open relationship, because swingers tend to stay with each other and invite people in. Open relationship opens that door in a whole different way. Now, what I understand, the way I see it is, you might as well just be open because nobody just stays a swinger. Everyone's gonna, it's so you're still opening that door. Is it cheating or is it, part of the lifestyle? Let's say in entertainment. If you are with someone, you are in an open relationship, and the guys are like, oh, women get laid a lot easier. True, but it also depends on the female because there's a lot of women in the industry who are very shy. Who are very quiet. They're a little more downtoned. They're not as outgoing. They love doing what they do, but they're not really out there in the public for whatever reason, and a lot of it is insecurities, so that significant other, and it could be men too. I've seen a lot of men out there who are like that, who are very, I'm going to say soft. Women can be soft. Men, it's just weird. But a lot of guys, will be like, oh, well, she's down to earth. You're in an open relationship, but now that person who's down to earth and more quieter and subtle, are you still going to eyeball them because they're a little more outgoing and they are seen with more beautiful women and probably are sleeping with women? Are they supposed to tell you when they hook up with somebody? If you're in an open relationship,
depends on your rules.
I've asked this to several of my friends who have done this. If you're in an open relationship, does that mean you have to tell your significant other every time you sleep with somebody? I don't think you do. If you're open, that's basically a subliminal mind your business.
It all comes back to the rules that you guys established for that relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, would I want to know? Yeah, but the reason I want to know is to make sure that I make sure that trailer trash isn't, spreading anything or, something like that. But it just depends on the people. Mm-hmm. Some of them, no, they don't want to know. They could care less. But then you have the ones that they're doing it to spice up their relationship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do believe that they have the rules there, but I think it depends on everybody and that certain thing on if they want to know or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the level of commitment that is set forth and determined that they're going to take it to. Right. In open relationships, to me, open relationships got no problem with it. But open relationship to me is just casual dating. It's not really it's not really a relationship. It's just casual dating. Whereas swingers, on the other hand, even full swap swingers, there again, rules are established. Both parties have agreed upon them. And as long as as long as both parties are upholding to the standards that were set forth, then yes, that could still be a committed relationship. But open, like I say, open relationship to me, that is nothing more than casual dating, and it's basically like test driving a car on a daily basis. You don't want to commit to taking out the loan on the fucker, but you still want to drive. You still want to drive it anytime you want.
Yeah, you still want to get your stick played with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
and we'll go,
then you come back to, like you guys were just talking about Dave. Okay. That is his life. I know he's, when as an artist and, your life is on display. But people judging him for something they have no part in. I don't have any money invested in that baby or him. what is it anybody's business but their own? But that also brings you back to going, oh, well, you signed up for it. Yeah, you did. But I don't know if you have so much signed up for people um, stop listening. Oh, canceling. I'm sorry. We're in cancel culture now. Forgot.
No, I refuse to be part of that culture. I'm just saying.
You can cancel people now. But I was not aware of that. I thought that was called killing them. But it is what it is. Everybody is in everybody's business because of social media. And that's what it boils down to on that one. It is a matter of preference in, okay, let's say I want to be an open relationship or I'm swinging, that's my business and nobody else's.
Mm-hmm.
Just because social media and you can, everything comes to light on social media. I mean, it just happens. But it's still my business. Do I count it as cheating? No, because I've already discussed it with somebody else. Okay, and I agree with Danny. Open relationships, very casual. That's all it is. If you're wanting to sleep with other people, you don't need to be in a relationship.
Yeah, there is no
Mm-hmm.
commitment
Right.
in the situation of that when it comes to open relationship, because and that's just me. That's why bring it? It's kind of dumb to say, but why bring all the bullshit that comes with a committed relationship into something that you can do without the commitment to start with, and just have all the fringe benefits?
Right.
It's true.
You're able to get fucked, but you don't have to deal with all the bullshit. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Exactly. You can go get fucked. You can go get fucked without getting fucked.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But how many women there's not very many women, and I will call this out. There are not very many women that can handle that type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to get upset over not being introduced, can you imagine being in a relationship because they didn't introduce you to the person they fucked, the night before?
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everyone. But
the way I see it, I'm standing firm on how I see the points of everyone. There is truth to a lot of that. I'm not going to say there isn't, but I am realistically saying you date and marry anybody in this industry. It don't matter if you were already dating 5 years before your significant other took off and now is on tour. Okay. Right. It don't matter. It don't matter how happy they are. Once they start, a lot of people, men and women, when they see all this extra attention they never got before, some of them never got it before because, maybe that musician isn't the greatest looking.
Right.
And the women from town didn't give two shits, probably because they knew him personally and didn't like him, or whatever their case, or her, and all of a sudden now they're on the stage and they're hitting the road. Now they're going to get different attention, and both people are going to react. That significant other might start enjoying themselves, while the other one is now at home drawing questions and not believing any answer they give them to begin with. The way I see it in this industry, it's very, very common, more than not, for people who work in the entertainment industry one way or another, doesn't matter what they do. There is, especially the actual musicians and actors. Yes, I am pinpointing that. It's mostly, not all, but they will cheat. And I've noticed that a lot of times, some of the women think they're like, "Oh, my husband's a complete fucking dork. He's a complete idiot. He's a gamer." And I laugh. I'm like, they're all gamers now. It's the 80s and 90s children growing up. They're all still gamers. That means nothing. And they're convinced in their head, oh, he'll never do that. He'll never do it. It's always the ones you don't expect that do the worst. I've seen that very consistently. But to walk into this and to walk into a relationship or somebody, you're already in the relationship and then shit like this happens, an opportunity comes for them to hit the road. For you to think that it's not going to, the odds are they'll be faithful to you are slim. I'm going to say it's slim. Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. But it's slim. It don't matter who they are, what they look like. It's going to happen. It's realistically, it doesn't matter. And in this industry, it is more common. And the only way you're going to know is if the person tells you every single time. And I'd rather not know, because if I found out how much of a man whore my significant other really was, if I'm being homie, being a good housewife and I'm not doing shit, maybe a guy once in a while, but he's out getting pussy every week and I know about it. I'm really, If I get pissed off, whose fault is it if I knew the truth already? They're going to do it whether you want to or not. Is it cheating? If they lie about it, yeah, it is. You know, even if you're an open swinger, and it's known, yes, we're going to do it. In a way, it's a form of cheating. Is it a bad cheating? I don't think so. I really don't. But if you're lied to about it, that's when it becomes an issue.
Okay. I've got a question for all three of you because I'm running into it all the time. I put in my contracts that I don't deal with anybody besides the bands. Smart, because I just don't want to have to deal with the women. How much of an issue when they finally see who you are do you have? And that's for Danny also. I mean, you know,
Worse. Once they meet me, it's worse. And it don't matter. And I'm not no small bitch either. You know, a lot of girls are always like, oh, because she's skinny. You don't have to be skinny. You can be, you know, you don't have to be tall, skinny, a model. All you got to do is have the right personality, an outgoing, in-your-face personality like me and Chrissy are. You know, we have no problem putting our foot down and stepping the fuck up. She might need a stool, but she's still going to do it.
Yeah. Oh, Danny, she says she's going to pick me up when she sees me too.
I'm going to pick that bitch up, put her over my shoulder, pat her on the back, and just jump. She's so cute.
Hey, Danny has seen me in
but see, now I'm not, you know, height challenged like Chrissy is. That's she's so cute.
You're talking like you could be in the starting five of an NBA team. You're still
well, I ain't that fucking tall. You know, I need a ladder
on the short side.
Well, compared to you, who's 6'3", yeah, everyone's short. Okay, but you know, what it comes down to is the jealousy happens depending on what that female looks like. It don't matter if she's short, tall. Not all of us got to be skinny because I know I'm not a fucking no skinny bitch. You know,
it comes into play regardless of whether it's female or male.
Right.
And
they look at your personality.
Like you said a while ago, it doesn't always depend on the looks. It's the charisma.
Yeah.
It's the
personality,
the charisma, the aura, the charm, the whole. You know, it's all part of that. If somebody knows how to talk to someone, you can speak. I can speaking for myself. I can speak with someone and not even be trying to and charm the pants off of them because nobody's ever came at him with that type of charisma. And
right.
it's the very much the same for others. I've met many women out on the road that within 15 minutes of a conversation, they're starting to reel me in just off of their aura and their charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the looks. Of course, the looks are a contributing factor, but a lot of people can just charm someone into, and as this topic is, can charm someone into cheating, even though they might not would ever look twice at someone that looks like that person had they never opened their mouth. There's just so many aspects to take into consideration before being able to give an accurate depiction of what the rules are or what is intended or not intended.
See, that's what I run into more and more is I can talk to the guys a lot better than I can females.
Oh, absolutely.
I have
absolutely. Without question.
But
the women are a lot more judgmental. They're a lot more judgmental. They misunderstand more. And I'm favoring guys when I say this shit. You are right. Women are overreactive. They're accusational and they go over the top. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But part of that though is it your fault? What did you do for where did you pump her up to that for so many times for you doing so many things wrong? If a guy fucked up that many times to the point where a female is acting like that and she stays with him, he's no longer the problem. She's an idiot. If he does this all the fucking time, why would you stay with somebody who treats you like shit? Mm-hmm. Now you're the jackass. That's when the female or man becomes the jackass. So they keep doing this to you, but yet you keep forgiving them and sticking around. Guess what? I don't feel bad for you anymore. I won't.
No, first time I feel bad.
Don't tell me your problem.
First time I won't feel bad for you. If you didn't know. After that, that's your own issue. Mm-hmm. Now you're just glutton for punishment. That's all.
Yep.
Facing it though, the jealousy. And I don't have to do anything. The women, when they come in and they don't personally know me, I get the dirty looks. I'm getting they're going to try to follow me around, make sure I'm not doing, they're going to make sure they're always there when I'm talking to the bands and I'm like, I'm literally working. And I've told women that, look, I'm not dealing with you and this has nothing to do with you. You need to go away. And then they're, oh, you just want to be with my man. No.
You know what I've told women? When women have said that, half the time I'll tell them flat out, I had him 5 years before you. I stopped fucking him for a reason. Have him. And I walk away. You know? It's like I already had him. We're good. I stopped for a reason. He's all yours,
well,
sweetheart.
It's like, look at him going, I have looked at him. I was like, what, you really think I'm going to bend over and let him fuck me right in the middle of everything?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my God, I smiled at your significant other and I put my arm around it. That don't mean shit. I'm a hugger. I am a hugger. And people who give me that half-ass hug, people who are like, oh, hey, and they give you a half-ass hug. Don't touch me if you're going to do that. You know, here's something else I think is annoying as fuck, and I bitched about this on Facebook. Women, and I'm going to say women because I'm a female, women who see that their man now has a female on their social media as a new friend, and it's a beautiful woman, that she looks a certain way, that, you know, and she's gorgeous, and all of a sudden that your girlfriend or husband, boyfriend, whatever, because sometimes it's them, but it's always the women. It's always the women. Okay. All of a sudden they get a friend request. That chick gets a friend request, and it happens to me all the fucking time. And we don't talk to you. The only mutual friend you have with you, you're never in the scene. So that's another reason for me to have a red flag. But because I know your man, you think, oh, I'm going to friend request her so I can keep an eye on her. Stay in your lane, bitch. You're going to get denied. And I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send you a message before I deny you. And I'm going to tell you the same fucking thing. If you don't trust your man, you're the fucking problem. If he's cheated before and you're still there, guess what? You're the problem still, not him.
I feel for the guys that
toxic.
We all have them, you know, the band members that we know are 100% faithful to that woman.
I think shadowing your significant other is more of an issue than the cheating, because you will that's a guaranteed way to push your significant other to want to do something or break up with you because of your insecurities, and it's too much.
I mean, I feel bad for the band members that we know are like 100% faithful to their significant other, you know, but they're in the background going, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, and I'm thinking, no, they're actually one of the good people, you know, but they put them through hell, and I see it more with them being put through hell. The faithful ones, the good ones, you know, they're still getting put through hell because of the.
Does that mean you're like you're shitting fireworks? I mean, what is it?
I don't know what that was.
Dude, where'd the thumb come from? Holy shit. See, he's like shooting fucking fireworks out of his ass. Random thumbs up. What the fuck?
Oh my God. I saw that right now.
I have no idea.
That's but
all right. So basically, what I think it's, you know, go ahead, Chrissy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that when it comes to that, they're because of the can't think of what the word, and I'm not talking about Band-Aids either. It was something else, like fireworks threw me off. But they're the ones that are getting their chicks are more, and even men are more psycho than the actual ones getting fucked over. Are the ones being faithful, and you know, because of their stigmata of being in the music industry, and there are some really good people.
There are a lot of good people, and some of them are whores. Unfortunately, some of them are whores.
I mean, I want to look at these women when they get upset that they get, you know, and women and men. Oh, well, this happened. Yeah, how did you meet them? Let me just ask that question. Oh, I met him at a show, or I met him while he was with.
Right, you met him with his significant other that he was supposedly leaving. Girl, if he's doing it once, he's gonna do it again when he met you. Don't be a fool. Don't be stupid.
And I just want to look and go, where'd you meet him? How? You know, and then they're, oh, well, he's not like that no more. Obviously, he is. But I do not believe in her comment about once a cheater, always cheater. No, I don't believe that. I believe that when it is possible that that person to meet somebody and that changes their complete way of life. Do I think it's very common? Oh, hell no. Women and men both enjoy sex, and it's a it's natural for us to enjoy sex. The whole point is to repopulate. That's how we stay alive, you know. But I think we're the only ones that, like the music industry, we pretty much just accept it, like you said, sex, drug, and rock and roll.
Mhm.
You do the country, country music genre, or pop, and they don't get that. But rock, it's like, oh, okay, And next week, Dave Grohl having a secret love child's going to be tossed to one side.
You know what? I'm sorry, but the way I see it, it's very well possible that, there's so many stories going around about Dave Grohl. There's so many, because now supposedly, he cheated, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, there's a lot of different stories right now. He's saying it's not his baby. I saw that one too. And okay, the whole concept, the whole purpose of swingers, cheaters, or entertainment. Yes, it is the entertainment lifestyle. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100%. Yes, it is. The individual that's in that industry is what it comes down to. They can be honest with their significant other and say, yes, this is going to happen on the road. And you can too. And she might be like, well, I'm not that type. I don't want to, I don't want other men sticking their dick in me and I don't want to do that. I want to stay faithful to you. Okay, well, that doesn't mean he's going to. He was honest with you. And just because you choose that you're going to do this, does that mean he has to? When he already told you, I'm going to do this, but you don't want to, so is he supposed to come down to your level then? Does that make that okay? It depends on the person. It depends on the relationship. That's what it comes down to. Yes, it is part of the industry. Yes, it is. And if you think it's not, go back to church. All right, go find yourself a church boy. All right, because it's not, and more than like, it's part of the industry, but it comes down to the people. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Diddy, what do you think? Is it just you started as a drummer, back in the 70s or 80s, something like that, right?
I'm not that old, 80s.
70s or 80s, I'm done.
You're trying to age me another 10 years there. Back up.
But have you seen it progress? Like, because I know, like in the 80s, it was all like you said,
in the 80s through 90s, it was just commonplace. It wasn't really even talked about. It was just commonplace,
right?
Because that was the era. That was the time. That's why early in the conversation I made the Motley Crue days comment. That was Sunset Strip. That was Hollywood in 1986, 1985, 1987, and now it's the party aspect of it is not so much even a factor anymore. Not for the ones that succeed at it anyway. Yeah, because now it's a business, and there's we're all in the industry. There's nobody getting offered record label deals like they were in the 80s and 90s on a basis now. Every record labels, they're still out there, but most of them, honestly, you have to pay them and it's more of a distribution company. There's, so everybody is out there for the business. The cost of things is ridiculous. A bus driver alone, a tour bus driver alone, run you an excessive amount of money to get a good one. You have to not only pay them for their driving, you have to put them up in a hotel as soon as you get on site at the venue so they can get their sleep. There's just so many factors of cost into everything now. The party aspect, the bands that do it, it's not there. But there again, you still have the VIP trips to the tour bus. You still have the send your tour manager around, hand out passes to certain people to invite back to the green room. There's more than one way for it still to take place, and it does in some cases. In mine, I'm very, very simple. Women don't get on my tour bus. You ain't got no business on there.
Yeah.
Women don't come back to the hotel. You got no business there either. I don't even want anybody to know where we're staying at for the night. I do not.
Shit, I don't even want half my friends knowing where I live, let alone the tour.
I never wanted public knowledge of where we're staying. Don't want it told to anybody or sitting around. There are rare occasions when, like I was saying, had a good friend come hang out for 30, 45 minutes in the hotel lobby on this past tour just because I hadn't seen him in a while.
Right.
That was a rare exception to my own rule because that's my friend and I trusted that person. I knew there was no way in hell.
Yeah, and it's not somebody's going to use it as a promotional value, like, oh, look who's swung by me, and da-da-da-da.
You know,
No, it's legitimately friends saying hello to each other, but others wouldn't believe that. A lot of people, like Danny said, a lot of people aren't going to believe. Yes, it is possible, and if it's certain people that you know are this type, it'd be like, okay, and they behaved, yeah.
So
they always do,
To answer your question as best I can in pretty much one phrase, nowadays on this topic, sex is no longer recreational. It is now cheating if you're in a committed relationship. Because back then, 80s, 90s, I'll say at least 80s and 90s, sex was recreational and part of the job. Now, anything beyond what I mentioned earlier, the flirting and doing your job and letting that be a part of it because that's what is expected from the fans. Anything more than that is non-recreational, has nothing to do with the job. It's just personal pleasure and personal choice by making it do so. And if you're in a committed relationship with someone and you are doing that, then yes, you are cheating.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And saying that's what I agree too. I definitely think yes. I still for the most part I agree, Dave. I agree that it's not like the 80s and 90s. I mean, our generation being younger was hardcore with shit. What a lot of people, each generation changes. Or it's just the people. But I think it is. I think it is still part of it. But it just depends on the people involved.
What I've noticed more now is like Danny said back in the day, it was people, fans. Now it's more between other artists. It's kind of like the music industry, we have our own little club, and we end up dating people from the musicians. We end up dating other promoters. I think the cheating and everything is happening more within that group than with the fans anymore, if that makes sense.
I can see what you're saying on that, yeah, because they're the people you're directly around more. So you actually have more of a chance to talk and establish more of a relationship with the people
and
that are working together than the fans. So I could see where you have a valid point in that it's not the fans necessarily who might be the issue, but the people that are more involved. But again, that can cause more confrontation and conflict when you're dating somebody in the scene and they say, okay, so it's not the fans, but this, you have a female who booked the entire event and she's naturally flirty and oh my God, she smiles, and she looks this way and she acts this way and she hugs everybody when she says that, sees that. It's like, dude, who gives a fuck? If you're going to act like that, keep your ass home. You're going to ask just as many questions at home as you're going to ask even more, and you're going to piss off your significant other, and you're going to play the victim. And you're not the victim. You're the asshole. You become the asshole, not the victim. There is an expected behavior with everybody. There is, this is not a corporate business where everyone has to dress in a suit and act a certain way. This is where everyone. This is a different kind of business where sex, drugs, and rock and roll is still. It's not as as huge as the 80s, but it's still very much a factor. Yes, it is. It is part of the entertainment industry. Yes, it is.
When it comes to me dating
individuals.
When it comes to me dating, and at first I was like, I'm not going to date within the music industry again. Not going to happen. But now I'm slowly going, hang on a minute. They're the only ones who understand what I'm. That understand it. That isn't jumping down my back, my throat because of something. I told them, people's like, oh, you come or I'm gonna come to your show. Okay, well that's fine. You can come to my show, but I'm not gonna have time to talk to you.
Right. I'm not there to talk and hang out with my significant other. I got work to do.
Right.
Sorry. Right. You bring a friend because you need somebody to keep your ass busy. It ain't gonna be me.
Right.
You know, I definitely agree. You know, but you have a point, Chris. You know that the people that work together would, you know, there'd be. I would think I agree. The chances increase with the people you
Yeah.
talk to more than opposed to the fans that you're worried about. Be like, okay, but that
I
doesn't
saw-
mean you can. If you start questioning shit, you're the problem. Okay. If you know, it's one thing to say, hey, you know, that chick looked, you know, that, you know, I saw her grab your dick. Okay. You know, something, because I've seen that shit too, you know, where women will get too damn hammered and do some stupid shit,
Yeah.
you know, and I have seen it, you know, but a lot of
Oh, I've
times,
seen it too.
but you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean it's the guy's fault. That person just
No.
happens to be a complete jackass. Now, what your how that person reacts, if something like that, if they just, you know, kind of giggle like, oh, you know, go ahead and do it again. Not question that
And-
motherfucker, you know, but sometimes they're just like, they just back off and they may not say nothing. They're like, no, you know, we're cool like that. But because you don't see them
Right.
overreact, that means they're okay with it. There's too many. If you're gonna, you need to have more of an open mind and less personal jealousy issues and insecurities if you're gonna be with somebody in this industry. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. You have to have a completely different mindset than you
Yeah.
would have anywhere else.
Yep.
And not many people have that, you know, that mindset. And
And
Because-
ultimately, what it boils down to, and even more so, it's with everyone, but even more so within the industry. It's real simple. We all have choice,
Yes.
and whatever decisions are made, they are made by choice.
Yep.
No one's putting a gun to anyone's head to make anyone do or not do anything. Open relationship, swinger relationship, cheating, committed, whatever the case may be, every action is done by choice.
Yep.
You made a choice to get into that situation. You're making a choice how you're going to react and not react during that situation. So there again, it all hinges on that individual and what choice they make.
Right.
Exactly.
I agree. You know, going back to like Dave Grohl, you know, supposedly he has this love child. What's funny is that everyone's looking at his wife. She's victimized. What they're not talking about is an unsaid side of the story. What if she is one of those significant others that did understand plain and fact, you know, plain as day, that shit's going to happen. He's on the road a year. You really think he's not going to want to get laid? Okay. You know, she could very much be very well informed and understand that, yeah, he was out screwing anybody, but don't bring anybody home, you know, don't bring anything home, no disease home, and no babies. Who's to say that he didn't know that he accidentally got one of those broads knocked up? And now this broad is coming at him 20 years later saying, hey, I got your kid. And it's catching his
Didn't
ass off
Schwarzenegger
guard
go through the
because
same
he's
thing?
hearing about it 20 years later. One way to solve that, obviously a blood test, but now it becomes the factor. Well, did he tell his wife? Well, no, maybe he legit did not know for that 20 years because she never came out, and all of a sudden now she wants to.
Didn't that happen to Schwarzenegger too?
Do what?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, didn't that happen to him too?
To who?
He just lost
With his
Schwarzenegger.
maid.
Wait, I
It
still
was
didn't
His
hear you.
maid, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's love childs very much do exist. You know, and sometimes alcohol and drugs becomes a factor. It don't matter how faithful your significant other is. If they like to party, at a certain point, your inhibitions and your control are out that window. It depends. You know, if you don't control and you're just a constant drink after drink, smoke, joint after joint, line after line for the, just whatever the fuck you do. At a certain point, certain people who might be faithful and true will slip and not realize who they're, what they're doing. I don't mean to call myself out on this, but I'm sure everybody who's a partier at some point in their life, industry or not, woke up the next day and went, who the fuck? Oh, wow. What happened last night? And you woke up with somebody, whether you know them or not, and it's like, oh shit. You were wide awake, and everyone's like, oh, you were wide awake. You were the life of the party, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm telling my stories, okay? But it's not just my story. It's happened to a lot of people.
Well, my other thing is that
it doesn't mean that you're a cheater. It's just like, well, shit. But now it means, are you going to go to your significant other and say, I fucked up and I woke up with somebody? That significant person, not going to believe you.
Well, here's the thing is that in the music industry, the music industry is very romanticized. Oh my God, we're going to be this and this and this is how it's going to work. They don't take into account everything else that goes into it, being around the drugs, being around the alcohol, being around the Band-Aids, having everybody at your beck and call, and you've never had that before. You know, nobody takes all that into consideration. All they think about is, oh, I'm going to be famous. Well, fame comes at a price. And it may come at a price of your relationship, who you are, but it is a price.
Yeah.
No matter
But
how
then-
you look at it.
But then you know what?
does,
It was never love to begin with. It was just pure lust, basically.
Well, you can't
Well, that's
say
what
that
it is
just
in the
because-
beginning to begin with. You could still
Yeah.
love. You know what? I disagree a little bit on that. I mean, everything starts out as lust. You know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna call myself. I'm not gonna date somebody or sleep with somebody I don't think is attractive. If you're ugly, I definitely don't want to see your face over me, sweating, dropping fucking droplets of all kinds of shit. Get away from me! Don't touch me. Okay, sorry. I don't want nobody ugly banging me. Okay, not gonna happen.
Right.
All right, but it's not going to matter in the beginning. There's no love in the beginning to begin with. Those people who get into relationships, start dating after a month and a half. Oh, I'm in love. I swear to God, I want to smack them.
No, honey, you're a rebound.
No, you're not.
No, I'm talking. I'm
You know?
talking about in the long run.
Well,
I mean,
well
I'm
not
talking
even
about.
that. No, you could be in a fully committed, and I will say this, and I've watched it happen, that the musician fully was in love with his significant or her significant other. But when fame came to their door and they all of a sudden had everything in front of them, it isn't because they didn't love that person. It was, they were
living in the moment.
right.
And if they don't tell you, then yes, it is a lie. Yes, it is cheating.
Yeah.
If they don't say nothing. Absolutely.
Right.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
But
I'm just saying, but it doesn't, situations change. And I hate to
It's
say
a
that, but it
choice.
does.
But it's an ultimate choice, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to think about it that way, like if you want to
Right.
be, if you're thinking about having all these fucking fantasies that you're gonna be famous and shit, and it happens, then you're just a liar, basically.
If you don't tell them, yeah. But
Yeah,
then
the
again,
way-
you got people who don't want to know either.
I
They'd
just
rather
the way
live
I
it.
see it, the way I think, if you're going to date somebody in the industry, and this is going to be the first topic you want to have, you want to get into right away
Yeah.
with someone, can you? Absolutely. Is it going to cause problems? Yes, it will. Because if that's the first thing, you're already showing the other person, you are going to be the insecure issue.
Yeah.
Because that's the first that right away you just start dating someone, right away you want to start talking about, let's talk about the cheating factor. You are now the problem. You are now the problem. You're going to put a wall up. You're going to help create a problem in a relationship that didn't even start yet because you're worried already. Well, my past relationships, leave it in the past.
Yeah.
Everybody's
they don't
jaded
belong
for some
here.
reason. Everybody's jaded. Don't want to hear it.
I
Don't want to
took-
hear nobody's
I-
excuse anymore. Honestly, I
I
think
took
it's all.
a year and a half off from dating.
We've all been jaded. We've all been lied to. We've all been beaten,
Cheated
abused.
on, yeah.
Child, my first ex-husband had 2 fucking kids with his ex-girlfriend while married to me. I found that out when I was 8 months pregnant with our second child. Everyone's got a fucking story. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit. I don't give a shit. If that's the first thing you bring up when you start dating somebody, you are now the problem, not them.
Yep.
You are now the problem because you're showing I'm insecure and I'm not let go in my past. Oh, I am. I'm just trying to move on from it. No, you brought it up. You are a problem.
Yep.
You are a problem. Your insecurities are the problem, not the relationship. And it's going to drive that person to go do it. And that doesn't matter whether you're in the industry
I
or not.
have got a question. Who's one in the now? I'll ask you all this. Who's the one in the music industry you'd love to fuck?
I think it realistically, yes, it is part of the industry.
No.
It's part of the industry, but it comes down to the person and how honest they are, and if they actually follow through on what they say they're going to do. Because that's another thing. They could tell their significant other one thing and do another.
All right, since we're talking about the swinging shit, Fran, who's one person in the music industry you would fuck?
I was not expecting that. All right, for me to narrow it down to one, impossible. Yeah, I said it. And who it's going to be, or who would it want to be? They know. That's all that matters. You don't need to. They know. You don't need to. That's all that matters. Now now my answer can actually create some other questions.
Well,
Let's see if you guys can figure that out. If not, I'm not calling myself out. But I'm not gonna publicly say who I'd hook up with.
I'm saying past, present, future.
They know.
No, like Past, present, future. Who's the one person you would love to be an idol to? Danny's going to answer it next. And then Crystal.
Nope,
And then I'll answer.
I'm not touching that one.
I plead the fifth.
Nope. 50,
Yeah, I'm
55
pleading
years,
the fifth. I can't answer
55
that. I
years
can't answer
under my
that.
belt.
Are we okay? Are we talking like on this
What about you,
the
Chris?
music industry? Or are we
Brantley
talking
Gilbert.
like anywhere, anything as long as they're famous?
Yeah, Brantley Gilbert. I'll answer it. Well, I don't give a fuck.
Who?
Brantley Gilbert.
Oh, he's a cutie. He is a cutie. Yeah, he's a cutie. I'm not a country rock fan, but yeah, him. Yeah, yummy. Just saying. You know, I would say actually, I can't narrow it down. My list is big. Speak with in the music industry.
Oh,
I'm gonna clarify that in that group. People that I physically talk to and verbally talk to all the time. There's a few.
Brand knows who mine is. That no, yeah.
There's a few, and but I know two of them actually have no idea because I'm good at hiding shit. But there are a couple. But here's the thing: is I've actually had plenty of opportunity to hang out with those people, to do it with those people too. I've actually had the opportunity, and I haven't done it yet.
Yet, I like it. Yet.
Sometimes it's just the wrong situation.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it could be like I'm too busy, this or that, or guess what? I got a boyfriend. It's not gonna happen. I am that person. When I get a boyfriend, I don't fuck around. But if I'm single,
well, that's totally different.
guess who's single? Just saying. But I think part of my problem is like too many walls up. And regardless, yes, there are a couple of people, and I'm not gonna say who. I'm not gonna say
what about
who.
you, Crystal?
I said I plead the fifth.
She pleads the fifth. I do have a goal though by the end of 2025 that at least one of those it's gonna happen.
Well, you know what? I had a big crush on Brandon Lee. You said past, present, or future, right?
Yeah.
What did you say? Brandon Lee.
Oh, he's cute.
Brandon Lee, you mean the corpse? Well, that's one way to get a stiffy. I mean, he was beautiful. He was, once upon a time.
He's very beautiful, man.
Some people are
very beautiful man, very intelligent, very well spoken. I mean, and The Crow, come on, like he was my first crush. So, yeah.
My first crush was Donnie Wahlberg.
Really?
That's still my crush. What are you talking about? That's still my crush.
First
all right,
crush.
so we're going totally left. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and cut this out. I mean, in my personal opinion, swinging is not a bad thing. It could be a lot of fun. Try it. Just saying. But yeah,
No,
it is part of the lifestyle. Says it's not, you're full of shit. It still is. It might not be as severe as 30 years ago, but it still is. But it comes down to the person, and if their comes into play to determine whether shit's going to happen. So, is it cheating? Absolutely. If nobody says anything, if everything is known in the beginning, does that mean they have to tell you every time? I don't think they do. When you open that door and say there's open relationship, you should not have to tell them every time you scratch your ass with somebody else's hand. Okay, I'm a firm believer in that. Everything depends on the scenario and the situation at hand. So, but what it comes down to is if you're going to be raising your eyebrow and questioning your significant other immediately, you're actually going to be the problem, and you're the one who should not be in that relationship, not them.
Exactly.
Because if your insecurities are going to control your actions, then you have no business being in a relationship, regardless of the past and what you're trying to do, because you're the one that's causing the problems already. You're the red flag, not them. I'm very convinced in that.
If you're already looking for trouble to begin with, then you don't need to be in it. You definitely don't need to be in a relationship with somebody in the music industry. No matter if they're the artist, the manager, the promoter, the book, it does not matter.
You can't change anyone. That's one thing.
That person has to want to change.
just enjoy the ride.
And there's the puppy.
There's the puppy.
Hi.
Hey, Kobe.
Oh yeah.
He gets
All
a
right.
thumbs up.
So,
He gets fireworks and a dog. Hang on a minute.
so of course, as
Oh.
usual, the show goes a lot longer, but this is not an easy subject to cut off and have our 45
Yeah.
minutes. Basically, what it comes down to is I still personally